Good evening, everyone. My name is Robert Barber, and tonight's lesson is going to be on the disease concept. So what we need to do is our usual routine. Let's open with a moment of silence and a serenity prayer. Serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Tonight's class is going to be out of the doctor's opinion in the Alcoholics Anonymous book. And we're going to study the nature of the disease concept. I found, and I have 20 years clean by the grace of God and work in this 12-step program. I found that, and I have always worked in the field of addiction, but I found that a lot of people are coming into the treatment centers now, and they do not know the disease concept. We go to a lot of meetings, we go to a lot of different places, and they always tell us to do step one. You must work step one 100%, but no one explains to us what step one is. And I can remember when I first came into the recovery environment, I remember 100%. I remember coming into the rooms and they say, well, you must do step one. So what I would do, I would look up on the board and I would say, all right, step one. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. So in order for me to do it 100%, all I had to do was say, yes. I admitted that I'm an alcoholic. Yes. And my life was unmanageable. Yes. So I thought I had done a step one. So by being around the recovery guys, I started going to a book study. And the guy got up one day and he explained and broke down the disease concept and told me everything about step one. And I realized that I was making a grave mistake by not getting the information prior to me leaning on my own understanding. That makes sense, y'all? So what I want to do is, I would like for every person, just like the vision of AA, that journeys and has a problem with alcohol or drugs, to understand step one. I would like for every treatment center to be able to tell and teach this, what we're going to teach tonight to you guys and females about step one. I would like for every treatment center to have this information. Every 3 quarters, I work in a thrift store. We own a thrift store. And people come in here and they buy furniture all the time. And they say, they'll come up to me, they'll come up to Ken, or they'll come up to Anthony, and they'll say, I just opened up a 3-quarter house or a halfway house. I'm getting people in that's suffering from substance abuse or alcoholism. And I want to be able to house them. I said, well, what you going to do about the treatment part? Oh, we just going to make sure that they go to meetings. I said, well, what about the disease? The meeting's going to teach them the disease. 3 months later, they pull up in the back of the store in the donation center and they donating the furniture back. I said, what happened to your halfway house? You don't want to know. And I understand that. So this is global. People all over the world is doing this, and it's time now for us to go back to our basics. We're going to go back to the book. We're going to go back to the theory, and we're going to go back and we're going to examine what Dr. Silkworth said about the nature of our disease. That makes sense, y'all? It's something that you must know tonight. This book study tonight is going to be the disease concept, what you must believe. If you don't believe this, you're going to be starting your recovery journey incomplete. So what I want to do is I'm going to take the time, and I just want to introduce to you Dr. William D. Silkworth. I got this off the internet. There's books out on him. There's manuals out on him. There's a ton of information on the internet about Dr. Silkworth. And what I would like to do tonight is just read a little bit to clear up the atmosphere open our minds, get our mindset to a position that we can really start to recover. The journey starts tonight. I got some newcomers in here. Your journey starts tonight. All right, let's look at Dr. Silkworth. William D. Silkworth, 1873, passed away 1951. Dr. William D. Silkworth was called the little doctor who loved drunks. Began an indispensable contribution to Alcoholics Anonymous during the early 1930s from his position as medical director of Charles B. Towns Hospital in New York City. The Charles Towns Hospital was founded in 1901. He was well known then. The hospital was well known as a rich man's drying out place. I'm going to say that again. A rich man's drying out place. A rehab for the wealthy, and it served a worldwide clientele. The people who went to this treatment center in Towns Hospital was rich. So that already knocks out the myth that alcoholics are poor, from low-class families, uneducated, all dumb, skid row bums. That myth is smashed right here, because right when they was coming up with this concept, the people that was in the treatment center was rich. Then it goes on to name them. It says that they was American, and you got to remember they came from all over the world. So it says American millionaires, European royalty, and oil sheiks from the Middle East walked its halls, side by sides, brothers in humiliation, in bathrobes and slippers. All these rich folk, oil sheiks, millionaires, European royalty, the King James, and you know what I'm trying to say, Prince Charleses, and the oil sheiks with the turbans on, and all these people came to Dr. Silkworth and them for treatment for alcoholism and drugs. All right. It was Dr. Silkworth who told me, this is important. All right, this is important. Dr. Silkworth told Bill Wilson, our founder, co-founder, during the summer of 1933 of the nature of alcoholism, that in his opinion, the problem, now this is very important, the problem had nothing to do with vice or habit or lack of character. It had nothing to do with the way I act, where I came from, and what my beliefs are. He says it was an illness with both mental and physical components. So our disease is twofold. It's mental and it's physical. Y'all got that? Say it together with me. Mental and physical. You cannot leave it out. You cannot leave out the physical part. It's not all in our mind. It's in our bodies too. It's in our bodies too. He goes on to say that Dr. Silkworth is quoted widely as calling the illness a combination of an obsession of the mind that condemns one to drink and an allergy of the body that condemns one to die or go mad if one continues to ingest alcohol. So what Dr. Silkworth told, or came out and told really the general public and almost the world, is that they don't have just a psychological problem. Alcoholics just don't have a mental problem. They also have an allergy that is physical. And we're going to go over this. I'm going to take you through everything you need to know tonight. What I would like to do, and don't turn your pages right now, I just want to go back. I'm in the doctor's opinion. This is for everybody. We're in the doctor's opinion tonight. I'm just going to skip through some things, but I highly suggest you to go back and study the doctor's opinion on your own accord. Do not take my word for it. I might could tell you something that's wrong. Study for yourself. Go to the source yourself and find out for yourself and download this information so you can stay clean and sober. Don't take everybody's word for this. Read it for yourself. This is in the doctor's opinion. I'm just going to do some skipping, but you need to study for yourself. I just want to highlight some things. A well-known doctor, chief physician at a nationally prominent hospital specializing in alcohol and drug addiction, gave us this letter. The reason I'm saying alcohol and drug addiction, because I'm only talking about the diseases of addiction. I'm not in an AA class. I'm not in an NA class, which I do highly respect you keep it separate, because that's the nature of our 12-step program. But tonight we're talking about the disease of addiction, the addiction that Dr. Silkworth put out in his hospital. That makes sense? In the hospital he worked at, because he was treating alcoholics and drug addicts. So he didn't separate the disease in his letters. He says, let me go over. Bear with me now, because I'm going to start preaching in here. The physician who at our request gave us this letter has been kind enough to enlarge upon his views in another statement which follows. In this statement, he confirms what we who have suffered alcoholic torture must believe. Y'all can underline that one when you're doing your own study. Now, I'm going to flip back down the line tonight. You must believe something. That's something that you got to believe 100%. You must believe this. You must believe that the body, I'm going to say that again, that the body of the alcoholic is quite as abnormal as his mind. The body is sick and the mind is sick. Our disease is twofold. It's mental and physical. I have someone in my family, I'm just going to explain it a little bit. I have someone in my family who suffers from asthma. And when certain things she can't do. If she go and she mop her floor with ammonia or bleach or put some type of perfume on, it can trigger her to have an asthma attack, her breathing. She suffers from breathing asthma. So I remember years ago, she was doing that type of behavior. She was mopping and stuff, and she had an asthma attack, had to rush her to the hospital, and her lungs had collapsed. They had to pump them up and do their medical procedure and everything. And I remember her telling me that I would never go back home and mop with bleach or ammonia again. And that was it. So she had a physical problem, but her mind wasn't that sick. Now, let's look at me. I, without doing my thing, I got beat up pretty bad. I got hospitalized. I was on the spree. I got beat up. I got put in the hospital. The doctor told me, I'm going to admit you in here for 3 or 4 days because you got a broken leg and some more stuff going on with you. And what we're going to have to do is admit you. Now, keep in mind that my family member, her mind was normal. I'm sitting in there all beat up, bruised up, beat down, can't hardly walk, face about this big, and my mom saying, Robert, you need to get up out the hospital and go get you something. Go get you a drink. Go get you something else. That's what my mom was telling me. Now, my family member, mine didn't tell her to go return to the scene and do some more. My mind told me what? Return to the scene and get some more. In order to be a successful alcoholic, I would say, you got to be able to start with your mind and stop with your mind. Alcoholic, we do one part very well. We start with the mind, but we cannot stop with the mind. That makes sense? sitting in the hospital thinking about how you can get another drink when you just got beat down because you was drinking. And my mind was so sick, it told me go back to the guy who beat me and apologize so I can drink some more with him. Go back to the scene, the crime scene, and repeat it. All right? A couple more things before I get to the chalkboard. I want to talk about the doctor again, and I want to keep reiterate this because I know people are going to come up and say something about it. This is in his second letter. He says that the subject presented in this book seems to me to be of paramount importance to those afflicted with alcoholic addiction. I say this after many years. Dr. Silkworth treated us, people like us, for 30-plus years. Over 40,000 of us, y'all. So he had experience with our behavior and our thinking. He says, I say this after many years' experience as medical director of one of the oldest hospitals in the country treating alcoholic and drug addiction. Y'all got that? So we're not going to separate, because I want everybody who journeys to hear this message tonight. All right. I'm going to go to the next one. All right, then we're going to start. We believe, and so suggested a few years ago, that the action of alcohol on these chronic alcoholics is a manifestation of an allergy. An allergy. That the phenomenon of craving is limited in this class and never occurs in the average temperate drinker. These allergic types can never safely use alcohol in any form at all. And once having formed the habit and found they cannot break it, having lost their self-confidence, their reliance upon human things, their problems pile up on them and become astonishingly difficult to solve. So what he's saying is that we have a problem with this allergy. Allergy. Now you got to go back. Let's take our mind back for a second. Let's just think about this. The rich, some of the richest people in the world was in that hospital. Now, if they could buy their way out of alcoholism and drug addiction, then they could have paid for it. I have to know, because I know William James and Carl Jung and a lot of the psychiatrists. See, psychological measures was in full effect in the 1930s. People were having psychological treatment center going on. This man took a leap and said, wait a minute, these people have an allergy too, not just a psychological problem. See, I'm pretty sure with my mind, I wasn't in that hospital. Trust me, I couldn't even afford to go there. If I was alive, then I probably couldn't have went there. But I wasn't walking the hall with everybody, but I'm pretty sure, Ken, that these guys had enough money that they did have psychological help. I'm pretty sure that if you was an oil sheik from Arabia or something, I know you was religious. Right. You can't tell, they were born into the religion. They had money, they had psychological treatment, they were born in religion, right or wrong. Right. I know the American millionaires, grandmothers and fathers and mothers and brothers and sisters were Baptist, Catholic, and the whole Irish. They had religion, they had psychological help, but they did not know about one thing. That's why they were in the hospital, because they did not know that if they took that drink, that body was going to produce that phenomenon of craving. They didn't know that. So you can't buy your way out of that one. That's something you're going to have to accept 100%. That you cannot drink at all. You cannot drug at all. That makes sense, y'all? Because if the rich couldn't buy their way out of it, there's ain't no way in doo-doo we're going to be able to get out of it. We can't even afford to go to Grady for psychological help. They put you in 2 days and say, bye. So my point is, there's something wrong, right? If they couldn't squeeze up out of it, you know we can't. All right, but getting back on track. Let's take a look at this formula, this step one, and then we're going to go to the book, and I'm going to confirm it in the book. All right? Step one is like this. We have a problem. And the problem is that we're powerless. We're powerless. All right, that's our problem. Step one says we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. That's in like two parts. So part A, that we admitted we're powerless over alcohol. Part B, that our lives had become unmanageable. By the time we get into treatment, by the time we get here, we know part B very well. You know your life is a mess. Everybody else know your life is a mess. It's never bad for me how people can come in and you ask them, how you feeling? Oh, I'm just so blessed and I'm just so wonderful. And I said, okay. How long you been homeless? 20 years. All right. So we know our life is a mess. All right. But why? Why? Why am I the only one in my family? I got two brothers and a sister. Why I'm the only one that's hooked on alcohol and drugs? Why is it me? Why not them? Don't you think them rich people sitting in there watching their brothers on TV flying jets and skiing and stuff, and they sitting in the hospital? Why me? Why me? Why am I in such that arena? Why am I sitting in here like this and they're not? There is a reason why, because they don't suffer from the craving like I do. That makes sense? They don't have it. So if you take a look at this, it's in two parts. Our disease is mental and physical. All right, everybody see that? Mental and physical. First part I'm going to talk about is the physical side, but we have a mental obsession and a physical allergy. All right, let's talk about this physical allergy that he said we must believe. Did he not say that? Right. We must believe that the body is as sick as the mind. You have to believe this. All right, now here's the deal. An allergy is an abnormal reaction to something. It could be a physical state that's different from other people. So if I was allergic to strawberries or shrimp or something like that, or let's say Ken was allergic to strawberry or shrimp or something like that, if he goes out and he eats that at a party or an event or something, or in a restaurant or somewhere, he might break out because he's going to have some kind of physical condition, right? He might break out with hives, itching, rash, or something of that nature, right? Diarrhea, swollen tongue, I don't know. I'm not allergic to that, but I just know that there's some kind of reaction that's going to be abnormal because the rest of us there, if we eat it, we won't have it. All right? When it comes to us, we have an abnormal reaction to alcohol and drugs. The difference is our abnormal reaction is a craving. When we take any alcohol or drugs into our body, and I'm saying drugs also because we're only into doctor's opinion, we're only talking from Dr. Silkworth's explanation like we were in his hospital tonight. That makes sense? We're not in a room, we're in his hospital. He's telling us, and I'm going to live through him tonight. He's telling us that we have an abnormal reaction, that we have a phenomenal craving. Anytime I put any drugs or alcohol into my body produces a craving for more of it. That makes sense? More of it. Now, if Ken wants to put strawberries in his body or something like that, he might break out with a rash. He might break out with some itching, or he might even break out with a swollen tongue, but he ain't going to want no more of it. That makes sense? His body don't want no more of it. See, if I go drink one beer, I'm going to want a case of beer. If he eat 2 or 3 strawberries and break out, he don't want no more, a bushel. The craving is not like that. The craving is different. He has an abnormal reaction. I have a craving. I want more of it. That makes sense? So my allergy produces a phenomenal craving. Now this craving that we talk about has a formula. It has a formula. I'm going to do this formula on the next page, and then I'm going to come back to this one. This is how the craving works. All right, this is how the craving works. Let's say you go out and you're going to have, what we're going to use, hit or drink? Y'all pick it. Drink? One drink. If you go out tonight, one drink, Willie, will equal, no, let me start down here. One drink equal one craving. Y'all see that? So if I go out tonight and I take me one drink, my body, since I'm an alcoholic, a real alcoholic, what's going to happen? I won't want another one. So I get the second drink, and it's going to equal 2 cravings. That's not a 6, that's a C. Since I'm craving, I want another what? Another drink. The third drink equals 3 cravings. So let's jump down the line. Let's jump down the line a little bit. Who drank 3 beers in here? Nobody. Who drinks? No, I raise her hand. No, we ain't talking about you. Who drinks? All right, who drank 3 beers and quit? One person. So that means we got to do the 6-pack, right?
That's right.
All right, got to have the 6-pack, got to finish it.
Right.
So let's go to 6 drinks. It's going to equal 6 craving. The point I'm trying to bring about, and this is going to be on the workbook, the point I'm trying to bring it out about is that by your 6th drink, you are craving 6 times more than the first drink. 6 times more than the first drink. So what that means is that, we say the monkey's on your back.
Right.
There it is. When you're walking up and down the street, there it is. You're chasing the craving. It's 6 times more powerful by that 6th drink than it was at the first drink. I don't even want to talk about taking a hit. That's a lot of land. All night, pacing up and down Boulevard, 24/7. Chasing this. Now, if you can laugh at this, you got this.
Oh, yeah.
You sitting back talking about what is he talking about, then you might not even need to be in here. But if you know what this is, you got it. You're in the right place. So that craving is physical. That's what Dr. Silkworth was trying to tell the world. He was trying to tell the rich folk, it ain't because you got bad character. It ain't because you come from a bad family or you the black sheep in the family. None of that. It ain't because you didn't go to church every Sunday and the rest of them did and you missed 2. It ain't that. You have a disease. Your body craves when your brothers and sisters don't. That makes sense? Your body craves it. See, when we talk about an allergy, that confuses people because a lot of people think, well, I'm allergic to this, I'm allergic to that, but your body not craving it. You just might have an itch. I wish I had a couple of drinks and had an itch, you know, and I could stop. But that's not the case with me. That's the craving. All right. I'm going to go back to Dr. Silkworth because he says, in our belief, any picture, this is so serious, this is serious. In our belief, any picture of the alcoholic which leaves out this physical factor is incomplete. Incomplete. How many people been in treatment 5 times and never heard this? Raise your hand. How many people been in treatment 7 times and never heard this? I still see hand going up. How many people been to treatment 10 times and never heard this? I see 1 hand, 2 hands. You see, this is important, y'all. This is some serious stuff. How can you go to 10 treatment centers and never been taught the disease of addiction? It makes me want to cry. It is so sad. So sad. I don't even know how you explain that. If a person don't know about the disease, if they never got this, Jane, is that a relapse? If they never know?
It's a relapse.
I don't know if it's a, what is it, y'all?
It's not a relapse. Not a relapse.
What is it?
Smoking drunk.
They just don't know. Lack of knowledge.
But after 10 treatment centers. I don't know what you call it, but we're going to get it right. The world going to get it right now. I don't know. I don't know what you call that. That is, to me, insanity. Because you pay to some of these treatment centers. Right. You pay. The government pay. The city pay. The counties pay. United Way pay. Everybody pay, but you're not getting what you're supposed to get. You got to have the proper information to stay clean, man. It's sad. It's sad. This ain't only in Atlanta. This is worldwide. This is global. People all over the world need to know this. It's in the book. How can you go to treatment center and the treatment center don't know the book? Sad. Ain't sad enough to take a drink, though, y'all. Mental obsession. Let's talk about the mind for a second. It's so sad. I'm going to do something different. Who is the wisest man on earth? King Solomon, wasn't it? Isn't that what the scriptures say? King Solomon. King Solomon wrote this. Who has woe? That means pain, expressed deep distress. Who has sorrow, deep sadness? Who has strife? Who has complaints? Who has needless bruises? Remember I told you I got brought them bruises? Who has bloodshot eyes? Who you think he's talking about? Those, he answers it, those who linger over wine. Who go to sample bowls of mixed wine. They don't want a little cup of, you know how you sample? They want bowls of it. Give me the whole bowl. Oh. Then he says, do not glaze at wine when it is red, when it sparkles in the cup, when it goes down smoothly. You know, don't entertain it. Don't romance it. That's what we talk about, right? Don't romance it. This is the consequences. Your eyes will see strange sights, and your mind will imagine confusing things. You will be like one sleeping on the high seas, sleeping. One that goes to sleep. Lying on the top of the riggings. You know, all the rope and stuff and the make the sail go. You're laying on top sleeping. They say, hit me. They hit me. And you will say, but I am not hurt. They beat me, but I do not feel it. Listen to this. When I wake up, no, when will I wake up? He's in his sleep. He said, when will I wake up so I can find another drink? See, even King Solomon knew about the mental part of it. King Solomon was wise enough to realize that we had confusing thoughts. King Solomon was wise enough to know that even when a drunk goes to sleep at night, first thing what he do when he wake up, he want a what? Another drink. So he knew how the mind worked. But King Solomon did not write about the physical allergy. He didn't write that when the man wake up and take a drink, he gonna want another one. He wrote about when the man was sleeping, the obsession was still wanting to get one. So I have to give William D. Silkworth the honor and the due utmost respect for putting out the allergy part, the physical part. That makes sense, y'all? Because that changed my life and a lot of other people's lives. So the wisest man on earth didn't know about the physical allergy. So God is good. Let's talk about the obsession. For our class, an obsession is an idea or a thought that overrides all normal thinking. It overrides it. You know the election is coming up, and the president and the running, the guy that's running for president. I'm not gonna get political in here. And it's like I didn't want to get religious, so I didn't give out no scriptures. I'm not giving out no name, but we know it's Obama up there. I'm gonna say the Democrats and the Republicans running for president. So here's the deal. When they having their debates, and you have a normal working TV, not the one Ken be trying to sell to folks, a normal working TV. If you on a regular channel, like channel 2, channel 5, or whatever, and they running the debate, if you put it on that channel, they override that channel, that station, don't they?
Right.
With Obama. They override it. So if you go to channel, another network that's a big network, they override it. So the normal channel that you would see during that time, they overrode it with the debates. And that's okay. So that would be like, in our mind, our thought for using, like Solomon said, is our desire and our thought for using is so deep that even when we sleeping, we thinking about getting another drink. It overrides them normal dreams that you have in your head. It overrides normal thinking. So let's take a look at that, how the obsession works. All right. Let's just look at some normal thinking. All right, I'm going to go back to that front part. Normal thinking would be, let me set the mind right. Let's say when you're using, and right before, let's say you're getting ready to get paid, Rob, you're getting ready to get paid. And you got some normal things you want to do when you get paid. All right, you probably will want to pay a few bills, right?
Right.
Buy some food, right?
Right.
What else?
Buy some gas for your car.
Gas, if you got a car.
Yeah, if you got one.
What else? Clothes, rent is in bill. Clothes.
Take your family to dinner.
Family. What else? Give me one more. That's food. I don't know. Let's say tide. Huh?
Take care of your health.
Health. Those are normal things. So what happens is, right before I get paid, or the week before, because I'm already broke, during the week.
Right.
So the week before, I'm thinking about I'm going to pay my bills, I'm going to get some food, I'm going to do the gas, get some clothes, get a family some money, do my health. That's normal thinking. There's nothing wrong with that type of thinking. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. Everybody in this room can think like that. Everybody in this city can think like that. Everybody in this state thinks like that. And everybody probably around the world think like that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's normal thinking. This is what we call normal thinking. All right. What happens is, and I'm going to put normal thinking there. All right, what happens with normal thinking is that the obsession overrides it. All right. So And you know, this is really our problem. Step one. So the way it kind of works is like this. I'm going to give you a little role playing. Let's just say I don't know anything about this. And I'm on my job, and I got $400 this week, Eddie. I got $400. I put it in my pocket. I already divided it in all 4 pockets. But I got it in my pocket. And I'm going to do what's on that list of normal thinking. So I say, okay, well, let me go to like Kroger Plaza because you can get money orders there. You can buy some food. You know, you can buy T-shirts and a pair of pants in there. You kind of get everything done right in that plaza. So I'm on my way to do this stuff, right? So I got my money, cashed my check. I'm not going to use. Let's get that clear first. Everything, every cell in my brain, every desire that I ever mustered up, I'm putting them all together with all the might I can get, and I'm not going to use. And I mean that. Lord Jesus Christ, please help me don't use. I mean it. I pray to God that I don't use. That's how serious I be. I'm on my way to Kroger to get that normal stuff so I have a better life. I'm not going there to tear up my life. I'm going to have a better week than I had last week. Right. So I'm on my way to do this. Oh, the president's come on. Beep. You know that? Beep. Hold it, Robert. This is me. I don't need y'all help for this one. I can do this by myself. Hold it, Robert. Before you go do all that normal stuff, just go get you one drink. Just get you one. I hear that in my head. It's all right. I'll get me a beer. So all the normal thinking, the obsession just overrode it. You saw that?
Right.
I don't know. I got no physical allergy. See, that's it was Dr. Silkworth came in. So since I didn't know it, I get the one beer thinking that I can do the normal stuff after I drink the one beer. That's good thinking, ain't it, y'all? Right, really? Ain't nothing wrong with that. Go on, get me one, and go do the normal stuff. Everybody else do it, why not me? I ain't to have a temper drinker, though, but why not me? That's my thinking. So I go and I get that beer and I put it in. Whammo. As soon as I put it in my body, since I have an allergy that other people don't have, the craving kicks off. Once the craving kicks off, bam, the formula comes in my life. One hit equal what? One craving. One drink equal one craving. Then I want another one, another one. By the 6th drink, it done overrode everything. I'm on what the book say, a well-known spree. Emerging. When I come off of air, it might be 3 days later. 3 days later. Y'all remember that? Sick. They call it remorse. Spell it. R-S-E. I'm in remorse. I call it the package deal. That's when you feel depressed. You feel stupid. Dumb. Ignorant. You feel sick. Huh? Worthless. Self-pity. Sitting on a park bench somewhere, praying, feeling bad. Remember them feelings? Low. Remember that? Depressed. Huh? Suicidal. Let's do suicidal. You feel suicidal. You can't get no lower than feeling spiritually, feeling suicidal. You feeling suicidal, Bobby? I come up and say, Robert, Bobby, I got $50. You want to go? Bam! He'll jump up out of that suicidal condition. Start that journey all over again. The obsession is so deep, it overrides all normal things. Even it let you come up out of your depression so you can think you feeling good so you can go back in deeper. You'll jump up out of that suicidal condition to go get a drink. Thinking that the drink is your solution when it's your problem. This is repeated over and over and over. People say, Robert, and I know Dr. Silkworth was hearing this. I know he heard this because he was in treatment with the rich and the famous. And he was telling them that they were powerless. Right? Powerless. That's what your problem is. You're powerless. He was saying, nah. They said, nah, I ain't powerless. Because I own half the country. I got 200 oil wells. I'm not powerless. They said, nah, you're powerless. And you're hopeless. No, they can't see that. I used to think like that. I used to think, yeah, I might have this and I might have that, but I couldn't, I was in denial about powerless. I couldn't say it. You might have been like that. I can't see the powerless part. I admit that I've been drinking a lot, but I'm not powerless. One night I was teaching a class, and I was praying to God, and I said, God, how do I explain this? And the class was with doctors and lawyers, a lot of professional people, had way more education than me, and they had professions. And I was going to the class, and I was saying, how am I going to explain to these people about powerless? Because I can't get them to see this. And I had tried. And the voice inside of my head said, well, why don't you just do what you do? Just tell them the truth. I said, all right. That's what I'm doing. I'm not going to be afraid. I'm just going to tell the truth. So what I did was I went in there. I said, well, we're all powerless in here. I did this, and I showed them the disease concept. Who in here not powerless? Half their hand went up. I said, well, let me put it another way. Let me do it another way. I'm going to, remember I told you this is Dr. Silkworth tonight. This is not AA, it's not NA, but this is Dr. Silkworth teaching this class. So I go into the class and I say, well, who's not powerless? And then a lot of hands go up. And I said, I go back through the role play. I said, well, on my way to Kroger, something came in my head. Deep, Robert, hold it. Before you go do that normal stuff, just go get you one. And I said, okay. I go and I get one, whatever, no matter what it is, drink or drug. I put it in my system, whammo, the allergy triggers off. The formula comes in, the craving starts. It's not like I'm getting no itch or no highs or no diarrhea. The craving is my allergy. So I'm craving for more and more and more of it. So I'm in a location, y'all know what it is, and I'm on the floor geeking, looking down for something that ain't there. I ain't powerless now. My mind said, get up, fool. Stop looking on the ground for something that's not there. That's what I had told these people. If your mind say get up and go take care of your family, go pay your bill, because it kind of went back to some kind of normal condition, you know what I'm saying? You supposed to be paying your rent, getting some gas, or you supposed to be tithing. Take your money to the church and tithe. If your mind tell you to get up, fool, but your behind stay on the floor, you powerless. You powerless. Your mind cannot get you up to do what's right because your physical allergy, the craving, is bigger than your mind. It's more powerful than your mind. Your mind can't get you up. There's another guy in the Bible say, I do some of the things I don't want to do.
Right.
I don't know why I'm doing them, but I find myself doing them. Even though I don't want to do it. I must need a renewing of the mind. If you find yourself, or you can laugh, or you identify with being on the ground, and your mind telling you to get up and you stay on the ground, you powerless. After I did that, I ain't had no more problems other than doctors and lawyers and all that kind of stuff. They knew exactly what powerless meant. And the thing is that it can all be changed. If you don't take a drink, if you don't touch the alcohol, and you don't take the drink, if you just become 100% abstinent, you don't have to worry about the physical side. It's academic. Now you got to deal with your mind. You got to start working on yourself. Deal with your mind, but you're not going to be able to do none of this if you take a drink. That makes sense? So, let me go back to the book. The book says, now everybody can see this one because we on the page. Men and women, Roman numeral 28. Men and women drink essentially because they like the effect produced by alcohol. Not the taste, the effect. I like the taste of Diet Coke, but I'm not going to drink a case of it. It's the effect that I was chasing. The sensation is so elusive that after that they admit it is injurious, they cannot after time tell the difference between the true and the false. To them, the alcoholic life seems the only normal one. We do so much insane things like eating on the dumpsters and being homeless and standing in soup lines and quitting jobs and walking away from families and all kind of insane things that after a period of time, we think that is normal. Alcoholics and addicts think that's normal life. The man, the boss say boo, you say I'm gone. That becomes so normal that we think that everybody else is abnormal. That makes sense? They are restless, irritable, and discontented, unless they can again experience a sense of ease and comfort which comes at once by taking a few drinks. Drinks which they see others taking with impunity, without punishment. You know, I like that restless, irritable, and discontented. I remember in my life, because I was homeless and alcoholic addict, I remember being broke, penniless, and I could be like spending at your house, Jane, and I know Aaron across the hall had a job, and Aaron liked to drink beer. I remember being so restless, irritable, and discontented, sitting in your house, broke, that I knew everything about Aaron. I knew how his car sounded. I knew how, you know what I'm trying to say, the keys went. I knew when he slammed that car door, so I come alert when he come. So I can meet him at that door to see if he had something to drink. That's how restless, irritable, and discontented I was. That make sense? A lot of situations. All right. Here's the deal. Let me go back. They are restless, irritable, and discontented unless they can again experience a sense of ease and comfort which comes at once by taking a few drinks. The drinks which they see others taking with impunity. Here it is. After they have succumbed to the desire again, here's the disease concept right in this paragraph. As so many do, so the desire is like the obsession. Once the obsession overrides the normal thinking, you succumb to it, you lower yourself to it, and you go take a drink, and a phenomenon of craving develops. Y'all see it? It's in here. The phenomenon of craving develops, and you pass through a well-known spree, emerging remorseful. with a firm resolution not to drink again. Lord Jesus, I will never do that again. This is me. That's how I did it. I pray not to do it again. And I still did it. This is repeated over and over again. Unless that person can experience an entire psychic change, there's very little hope for a recovery. On the other hand, and as strange as it may seem to those who do not understand, once a psychic change has occurred, this very same person who seemed doomed, who had so many problems he despaired of ever solving them, suddenly finds himself easily able to control his desire for alcohol. The only effort necessary being that required to follow a few simple rules, the 12 steps. I want to thank y'all for a good meeting. Good Father, our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.